Why are we doing Western texts? Why and what is the language of theatre, and what is this realism and representation? I was getting worried about this urban thing of the language, of urban concerns, and what about the rest? And what about historical India? And where are we culturally? Are we going to be constantly in this, thinking derivatively, always referring to Europe?
Arjuna, what can you see in the tree? Huh?
Looking into old texts, into one's inheritance, was a way to create this new aesthetic.
The eye of the If the nose played a part in the discovery of the past, the eye gave birth to the future. It saw the world in sequence. It moved from what was to what is, then demanded what next.
It started off with this exploration into the Kudiyatam knowledge of breath. Breath is something that only one guru knew about at that time. In fact, he informed me about it because I was learning from him, and I just said to him, how does one deal with this whole problem of emotional recall? I mean, this is what in theatre is the big problem. How do you remain fresh every night with your responses? And Stanislavski has given you a big, answer to that question. And I said to him, what do you do? He says, well, in our case, it is an unfailing use of physical craft, which is breath. I said, what? I mean, what do you do with it? He said, I'm not going to tell you about it because it's my secret, which I discovered over 7 years of work with the Raja of Travancore. And you've got to find it out yourself. And then I saw one of his disciples, Usha Nambiar. I saw her in performance and I said, he's given it to her. When Usha used the breath, it was really to animate her face, but essentially to create the sattvika, which is the psychological state or emotional state from which this expression would come. It would come spontaneously.
You take a long breath and fill it slowly up to your chest area. Then take a short breath onto your throat, push it down. So there will be like a clash of these two actions on your chest. This kind of lock will create lack of oxygen supply to the brain. And that will create kind of emotional state where your face look like you are crying. Whenever you are sad, there is something like a stone, heavy thing on your chest. And as soon as you get out of that problem, you felt like that stone is taken away. One breath to the another breath, the line is very thin. So if I'm taking Shrungara, this is the high state I have. Then to shift into Adbhuta is so all I done is from that high state I shifted to I started palpating that one. Now from here, this state of Adbhuta to go to, if it is Karuna, locked it, Go into Karna. So, from that locking state, I just push the breath out to Hasya.
So the breath became, it started informing the way we use the face as a mask, the way the body was used. So the vocabulary of the body was considerably influenced by this whole practice of breath. Like breath, martial arts are fundamental to the vocabulary I like to create. The martial arts were probably the origin of all movement. But the moment you start wanting to create a performance out of these movements, you have to start putting in breath, which is very different from the functional breath that they use. And it starts flowing very much like Tai Chi. The moments of silence, the transition, the quick changes, evocation of emotion, which it is essentially. But the movement, for us, it became everything.
Once upon a time, there was a tiger. And one day, he met someone on the road. Dog? Hello, dog. Doggy dog, look at me. Doggy dog, look at me. Doggy dog, look at me. Look me, look me, look me, look me, look me. Yare. Tiger. Hello, tiger. How are you? How are you? Discontented. Why not? Why discontented? Huh? Dogita, life is making a bonsai out of me. Cutting and chopping and cutting and chopping.
I want to keep that sense of being, at a state of a heightened consciousness, which, for instance, the Bhakti saints experience. And that is what I want for the kind of work I do. Of course, we are still struggling towards it, but that's the ideal. The answer is in being the hybrid, to nurture old knowledges, but also to always be pluralistic, not to be conditioned by positions and ideologies.